We are back, folks. And we're not just back. We're back with some breaking news. I kid you not. If you watched my last episode from just a couple hours ago, I, in the middle of the episode, walked through the process of reporting issues, bug reports, or sneaking in a quality assurance, a quality of life request. Quality assurance is the name of the team that tests games before they publish and that tests the builds that they're updating things. I used to be a quality assurance tester in the industry many, many lifetimes ago. And tragically, for way too short of a time period. I would have loved to stay at that job, but neither here nor there. Okay, so we walked through that, right? Because I firmly believe that a passionate community that invests the effort in supporting the developers by reporting issues that they find and sharing ideas that they have about quality of life issues in the game will help the game get better. I mean, assuming that the publisher and the developer and the dev team are actually behind their commitment, are really engaged and committed to supporting the game and responding to community input. Well, friends, I mean, if you watched the episode, you watched me submit a bug report about a specific thing that wasn't that big of a deal. It was a minor issue, but I found it annoying enough that I thought, you know what, I should write this up just in case not enough people have that that the devs or the team hasn't put it in a priority. During my break, as I am wont to do, I'm scrolling through social media. I'm not looking things up. I'm not entering search terms. I'm just scrolling through passive stuff on my feed. And of course, I'm in multiple Crimson Desert groups, and I follow Crimson Desert focused content creators like I do with most games that I play, especially if I'm going through a hyperfixation phase like I am right now. And the breaking news must have broken while we were in the middle of the last game session. Here, join me on the title screen for a minute. I did notice this, and I didn't see an overt update. I didn't, the first thing I do, hold on, I've got hiccups and burps, traffic jamming in my thorax here, hold on. This only happens to me when I'm excited and I have things to say, and then, okay, resetting. Oh, that's the wrong one. Come here, chat show. Where's chat show? Do you see that number right there in the corner just under my logo? It reads game version 1.01.00. When I started my day today, which was technically yesterday because I'm on a nocturnal schedule, so I get up in the evening. When I started my day today, I posted about, or I made comments about the last update somewhere in social media. I was either in a thread or I posted a thing. The last update was update 1.00.03. All right, we played our session. I logged off. This entire time, I did not see an update in my Xbox dashboard. And that's the first thing I do when I turn on my Xbox. Every time. 99% of the time, there's nothing. They must have an internal update delivery system that doesn't require a button push over in the Xbox update interface. First of all. So that was an interesting surprise. But the news rolled out while we were playing. I found stuff. They just updated the number to 1.01.00. And this is not a little update. This update list is massive. Go look at it for yourself. It's mind-boggling. I have screenshots. We're going to read through it. But I just wanted to talk about it really quick because it's not even been 2 full weeks yet. And there have been 3 major updates in less than 2 weeks. Or less than 3 weeks. Let's be fair, okay? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another update next week. And yes, I didn't even see this when I scanned through the notes. Because I did. I immediately took screenshots and kind of skimmed them. Didn't catch it. But then, of course, guess what was the thing people were talking about? Especially one of the content creators whose videos I often enjoy. They moved the storage chest. What? We literally... So I was late to that party. Apparently, people have been complaining about that from the moment the previous update dropped. But here we go, folks. Let's take a quick look. Don't take my word for it. Go see for yourself. Go to Perlibis official website for the game. But I do have the thing, and this is my show, so I'm going to take a little moment to read it for funsies. Can't see without these glasses on. Oh, these are in reverse order. No wonder it looked weird when I uploaded it. Okay. Top billing. The very first thing. They added 5 new mounts that can be obtained and summoned, aka permanent mounts, the thing everybody was complaining about. Prior to this update, there were epic animals you could temporarily tame and ride until you got thrown off, or it died, or you got off to go do something. You dismount and you wander off, and it leaves. 5. I'm assuming it's 5 of the most requested ones: lions and elephants and the tigers and whatnot. They've hidden it, so if you don't want to see which ones, it's in a drop-down menu that you got to click on when you're at the website. So if you want to know, boom, click on it. If you don't want to know, you want to discover them out in the wild, boom. Okay. This is bizarre. There's so many things on this list. I'm just going to try to through. Added chests containing various materials throughout Pywell. Added the refinement token item, which gives you a refinement update up to stage 4 without consuming any additional materials. They can be obtained from certain main and faction quests. And I think we might have been retroactively awarded some, or just as a bonus of like, hello, this is a new thing, here's some in your inventory, something to that effect, although that's not explicitly called out. Added a make now function, which allows food and items to be cooked immediately in the cooking crafting menu once a recipe is selected without having to separately select ingredients. Added a store all selected items function to move all items from the inventory to your private storage. Move the private storage chest in Howling Hill Camp, previously located behind Carl, to inside Cliff's tent. Oh, and Carl spelled with a K. I didn't realize that. I typed it out in that update, in that report with a C. Added wholesale grocer shop NPCs to the regional farms in Pywell and accordingly adjusted the quantity of certain knowledge entries. Improved shop items. Oh God, I'm still not used to these glasses. Actually, my cheesy gifted CVS glasses are a little better for the phone. Improved shop item knowledge acquisition so that knowledge for all items sold in shops can now be learned at once, with the learning time set to 3 seconds. Improved locked doors. And I totally had a moment about this before where I accidentally broke into somewhere that I didn't really mean to. Improved locked doors so that an interaction button is displayed, allowing players to choose whether they use the key to open the door. That's dope. No more losing keys to doors you didn't really mean to try to break into. Improved pets so that they do not stray excessively far away during combat. Fix an issue where pets in certain situations were unable to loot during combat. Improved wells so that 5 units of water can be obtained at a time. I didn't even know that there were wells in this game. I mean, I've seen them. I didn't know that they worked. I shouldn't be surprised, right? This game is that epic. Fix an issue where... Oh, no. Allowed wells. Improved mining knuckle drill. So, and I think this includes another one, although that may have been a mistaken thing. But this just lists mining drill. The chainsaw drill too. So improved mining... my phone keeps fading out and or bringing up the stuff that clutters the screen. The mining knuckle drill so that items obtained from drilling can be collected immediately. Same thing with the Demison chainsaw. I think it just automatically collects them for you. And that's not all. There were 5 screenshot pages of updates on this list, you guys. Moving on. Change the crafting materials for the Cuckoo Watcher pack. I don't even know what that means, but there you go. Improved abyss cells dropped from destroying disappearing rocks so that they can now be packed into the Cuckoo pot. Improved knowledge helms so that all obtainable knowledge visible in the screen can be acquired at once. There's a knowledge helm. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know. There's so many things about the game that I didn't even know that I am learning through this set of notes. Slightly increase the treasure detection range of the Pirate King hat. Yes! Additional inventory expansion items obtained after reaching the maximum inventory expansion limit of 240 slots will now be granted as boxes containing crafting materials and other items. That's a nice trade-off. If you've already maxed it out, but you've got these rewards, they give you stuff instead. Made the Abyss more convenient to play. Reduce the chance of pickpockets running into houses while fleeing. Increase the maximum camera distance in photo mode. Added a field of view adjustment feature and a camera shutter sound effect. Yes! I know that's meaningless, but it's so cool. I love a little shutter effect when you're taking a screenshot. Fix an issue where Damien and I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. Damian and Onga would become invisible under certain circumstances. Fix an issue where money deposited in the bank could disappear when investment was refreshed under certain circumstances. Change sealable items so that when they become lost, sealable items will become sealed, and the items cannot be sealed or registered as lost items. Not really sure what that even means because I haven't dealt with sealable items, but okay. Improve the system so that leaving a sealable item and then saving and reloading the game triggers either a sealed or lost item notification. Changed criminal acts to not decrease contribution before an NPC witnesses the act. We were just talking about that earlier. So it does not decrease, if I'm reading this right, it does not decrease your contribution points, right? It takes away contribution points when you steal stuff, even though no one can see you. So it's a weird, it's an interesting choice of words, before an NPC witnesses the act. But I mean, that seems to indicate that if an NPC does not witness the act, then you don't lose contribution points. We'll have to check that out, see how that actually works out. Change the functionality of an item. To prevent spoilers, the changes listed in drop-down menu below. I didn't screenshot that drop-down menu because I don't mind. Combat and controls. This is page 3. Improved movement controls for both player, character, and horse. Movement speed increased by holding down the running key. No more tapping. Movement speed increased by tapping the running key once. Movement speed for the player, character, and horse will no longer decrease even if the running key is not held continuously. Please note that the maintaining the full sprint state still requires periodic input of the sprint button. So in other words, it lasts longer and you don't need to do that like constant tapping, but it eventually will subside. Improve the usability of flight. Reduce flight stamina consumption. Fix the issue where the character briefly stops for a moment before moving with flight. Improve flight so that equipment can be used while flying. Improved an issue where flight would not activate in certain circumstances. Change the mechanics of aerial stab because there was an unintended issue that allowed the skill to be used repeatedly midair. Aerial stab was adjusted so that it could still be used as a fun movement mechanic without disrupting overall game balance. Improved the animation for aerial stab. Changed aerial stab so that stamina required for the skill increases with each consecutive use. That seems fair. Fix an issue with aerial stab would not activate when Cliff had a different main weapon other than a one-handed sword equipped. Stamina requirements for aerial maneuver and aerial swing have been reduced. Improved interaction range to make interactions with NPC more convenient. Improve the player's character's turning responses during short distance movements. Keyboard and mouse. Fix an issue where the binding flash and spinning slash skills would be interrupted when continuously being inputted under certain conditions. For keyboard and mouse, improved so that items can be sold by double-clicking them in shops. Added weak point indicator effects for each element. I think that means like when you imbue an attack with an elemental. So that's interesting. Adjusted certain bosses and enemies so that they do not attack immediately after the player character dies and revives. Nice. Fix an issue where Meteor Kick could be cast midair even when there was no reachable ground. Added an aim key guide for tool type items. Changed weapons so that they can now be drawn using the unsheath weapon key. Improved the UI so that this key is displayed during combat. Fixed an issue where the stun gauge would sometimes reset instantly when a boss using a moment fell off of it. Using a mount. Changed small and medium stone back caps to fall forwards when they hit the force palm ability. Keyboard mouse improved inventory usability as follows. Changed selecting and using items from mouse hover to mouse click. Left click to select items in the inventory, right click to double click, or double click to use the items. Reduce stamina consumption while sprinting and using crow wings. Okay, that seems redundant to list, but okay. Fix an issue where the kickback range of focus repulsion was abnormally large. Made an adjustment so that the wheels of Desert Marauder Rustin can no longer be destroyed from beyond a certain distance. Fix an issue where roll and evade could not be performed while using focus skills. Keyboard mouse added a precise control feature for Axiom Force. Holding Q or the mouse back button while moving the mouse now allows objects to be moved more precisely. Improved objects so that they are easier to interact with. Improved the UI to display a guide message when attempting to draw a weapon in a location or states where weapons cannot be drawn. Quests. It's page 4 or 5. Improve the transition into the liberation sequence so it feels less abrupt while liberating a location. Fix an issue in the prologue quest New Journey where progression could be blocked if the player throws an object at Sebastian or attacks him. Fix an issue in Chapter 2 quest Missing Companion where the delivery target sometimes disappears during the quest. Fix an issue in Chapter 3 quest Dance with the Devil where destroying the totems would occasionally not reduce the totem count. Added additional guide prompts where guidance was previously lacking. UI fixes and improvements. Added a feature that allows the minimap to be fixed north with N at the top. Added information in the skills menu showing... I sometimes like that. Sometimes I like the rotating map. Sometimes I like fixed, and I like being able to switch back and forth. That's dope. Added information to the skill menu showing stat increases to the next skill level. That's useful. Added icons on the minimap to indicate the locations of keys and anvils. I like that. Improved the notification menu to allow checking quests and challenges progress accepted, completed, and updated. Reward information and time details. The maximum number of stored notifications has also been increased to 2,000. Wow. Added an icon to the journal menu to indicate new quests. Improved a minimap, the minimap so that faction facilities are displayed when that particular faction's liberation gauge is shown. Improved the overall main screen notifications, including how long they are displayed and when they disappear. Improved the cooking crafting menu so that recipes in the same type, filling, satisfying, and hearty, are displayed as a single group. Improved the duo game so that a key guide for peeking is displayed during the gameplay. I've yet to even try that, and I need to because I'm stuck on that quest. Removed the whiteout effect during the retry loading sequence after something. Changed the key guide UI images for PlayStation controls, L3 and R3 buttons, and Xbox controls, left stick, right stick buttons. Changed the inventory UI so that when using pouch type items, use all is the option selected by default. Nice! I don't have to scroll. Improved the text color of UI descriptions to appear brighter. Graphics and settings. Improved rendering stability and visual quality in low-resolution environments when upscaling is enabled. Good for those folks that are using that. Improved the rendering translucent materials such as hair, fur, and clothing when FSRR and DLSSRR is enabled. I don't have that and don't care for it. PlayStation 5 added a fixed 4K output option to provide a sharper gameplay experience. When this option is enabled, the game will output at 4K resolution regardless of whether the display natively supports 4K, allowing for a sharper image. On the base PlayStation 5 in performance mode, enabling this option will allow you to upscale with FSSR. This option is enabled by default and can be disabled. When disabled, the game will output according to the maximum resolution supported by the monitor. Fix an issue where screen noise would increase during long gameplay sessions. Never encountered that, but good. Fix an issue where displacement mapping was not applied correctly when DLSSR was enabled. In addition, the DLSSR preset has been changed from D to E, improving overall visual quality, fixing an issue where texture animations such as waterfalls could stop playing. Cool. I don't think that we have that option on the Xbox, the DLSS-RR. Okay, performance and stability gameplay. Loading times have been reduced when traveling via abyss traces and respawning after death. Fix several stability, performance optimization, and crash issues across PC, console, and Mac. Fix an issue where frame drops occurred during the battle against the Crow Caller. Haven't even gotten to that boss. Fix the UI issue where the current quest objective could incorrectly display certain item descriptions instead. Fix various localization errors and improved localization quality, game, advice, etc. across all languages. Others. Added sound effects when certain animals eat meat. Maybe the puppy dogs and the kitty cats, I presume? That's a guess. Okay, other fixes. Fix an issue where certain interactions would not function when enhancing some tools. Fix an issue in the Twisted Thicket Way Abyss, where the Skybridge Gate could be opened without restoring the adjacent abyss. Improved cows not properly following during herding. I didn't know we could herd cows. Fixed an issue where greeting others while having a low bounty could trigger a crime. Wow, I didn't even know that could accidentally happen. Fix an issue where using nature's snare affected nearby NPCs. Fixed an issue where housing mode could close when pressing the drag button outdoors. Fix an issue where falling into shallow water could occasionally cause a character to dive to an abnormal location. Final page. Fix an issue where the effect of the energy drain abyss gear would not activate. Fix an issue where unintended functionality was applied to the Constellation Helm. I didn't know there was a Constellation Helm. Fix an issue where movement speed would briefly decrease before initiating gliding. Yeah, I was experiencing that. Fix an issue where items would be put away when changing equipment via quick slot while equipment was already drawn. Fix an issue where bow aiming was not possible in certain situations. Fix an issue where using blinding flash finisher at the edge of a cliff would launch the character far away. Fix an issue where some UI elements would overlap when displayed at the same time under certain conditions. Fix an issue where attacking NPCs with trees was not considered a crime. Oh, because it is. You shouldn't be attacking NPCs unless you want to be a criminal in this game. Fix various other in-game issues. Boom! I don't get why people claim that this game had a rough launch. It didn't. It had a chorus of people making claims about it sucking, which is not the same. This game played amazingly well on day one, and they've done nothing since then but drop epic updates that add things we talked about, that we requested. There were some bugs. There have been some crashes. I'm not saying it was 100% perfect. There is no such thing as 100% perfect software, let alone games. I think people underestimate and undervalue and underappreciate how massively complicated any video game is in this day and age, let alone a brand new one engineered on a new proprietary engine that was built from the ground up specifically for this game, that is doing as many things at such a top tier level as this game. I've said it a bunch and I will say it again and I will say it again. Crimson Desert is epic. It's 111 out of 10. It's riddled with secrets. Pearl Abyss is challenging the industry with its customer service and responsiveness. And people will be playing this game. New gamers will be picking this game up. And old gamers will be discovering new stuff in this game for decades. Because we haven't even scratched the surface, guys. I feel it. I can tell. Like, how many of you have actually gotten to the middle of the Crimson Desert? Plenty of people out there made that their number one priority. That's how we know it takes 4 hours to get from Hendersonville. What is it called? I can never remember it when I'm not in the game or not having recently seen it. It takes 4 hours to get from the starting capital city of the first area to the namesake region. And you can do it. You could get up from spawn after the prologue stuff and just go to the Crimson Desert if you want. You really could. And it wouldn't break the game. You could leave that spawn point and come back 100 hours later and then start the quest, I believe. I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually tested that. But everything else I've seen about this game would support the idea. And in general, that's what I've been doing. That's what we're doing this weekend. We're focusing on exploration. And right now, because I really want to get to a certain point with the campground, finding our lost fellow Greymane survivors. All right. I won't be covering updates that thoroughly. This one was just such a surprise. It came so quickly, and it literally addressed an issue that I only just chose to write up a bug report today about. Let's go visit the new location of the storage chest and just enjoy the satisfaction. All right, friends, thank you for your patience. Let's dive in.